Welcome back all my aspiring pattern makers and my future fashion designers. Today I'm going to show you how to make a kaftan using the colors of the African flag, which is green, gold and red, and I'm also going to include a bit of black, but this is so unique because the black is going to be on one side and on the other side is going to be no black. So it's your choice how you want to wear this kaftan. Let's get right into it. The reason why I chose to make this kaftan this way is the fact that it is February and this is Black History Month, and I always try to do something with these four colors during this time of the year. As you should know by now, I like to be unique, and this is the reason why I chose to make this kaftan one side where there's no black on that side, and then the other side there is black. So it is up to you how you want to wear it. If you want to show the black at the front or you want to have the black shown at the back. So let's get right into it. Now this is what my kaftan is going to look like. It is going to be made out of several rectangles that is going to be cut from these four colors that I have right here. So I have my colors right here, and I'm going to plan this accordingly. So I want to have the opening at the top, which is going to be your across shoulder width. For me, my across shoulder is 16, but I want to make it 17 because I want it to hang a little bit off the shoulder where I could wear it that way also, or have it just sitting on the shoulder. So I need my opening to be 17 inches here, and then I could have another slit about 8 inches away from here. I'm going to have the seam right here, right, and then leave this with that being the opening. So you have this just like a slit. This is your 17 going across here for your opening for your neck to go through, and then on either side you're going to have stitches going on for 8 inches long, and then you have that little space right there. So let's plan this accordingly. I want my kaftan to be 44-inch across by 54 inches in length. So I'm a tall person, and my actual measurement from my neck to shoulders to the floor is actually 58 inches, but I'm taking off a little because I don't want it to drag too much on the floor. This side would drag too much on the floor when you make it to your actual floor length. So that's why I'm going up about say 4 inches, and so hopefully you won't have much of these two outer edges here that is going to be hanging on the floor. Now with this kaftan also, you need to have a set of 2 rows of stitches that is going to go on it when you have finished making it, and those 2 rows is simply like holding you in at the bust area and also at the hip area. I usually stop around here, which is maybe 20 inches up from the floor, or you could even go 30 inches up from the floor, and that will compensate for the slit, so it's easy for you to move in it, and also when you sit you won't have that tightness right there. So you can do that. It's your desired length. I would say you can start it 12 inches down from the shoulder, and that should start there at your, not really a bust line, but somewhere up close to your bust line. To get started on this, now that we have decided on the measurement for the kaftan, we know that it's going to be 54 inches. I want my border here, the green, to be about 5 inches when it is finished. So I want this to be 5 inches here when it's finished, and also the red at the bottom, I want it to be 5 inches. And then for the side that is going to have the black, I want that to be 5 inches wide also. So let's do the math here. This is the other side of the kaftan that is not going to have any black on this side. It's just going to have those 3 colors there, which are the original color of the African flag. But as I stated, I just want to be different and have one side to be that color, and then I want to incorporate black on the other side. I'm still going to have my opening there of my 17 inches, and this is going to be for about 8 inches here. Okay, now if I'm going to have 54 inches in my length, what I need to do, that 54, I need to subtract the 5 and 5, which is 10 inches there. That would make it 44 inches, and then I need to add 1 inch seam allowance here, and that will give me 45 inches. So now I need the yellow to be 45 inches, and that's for just one piece here for the front yellow. Since my width is going to be 44 inches, and on either side I'm going to have 5 inches for this piece that has the black, so that is going to be minus 10, so that would be 34. Then you add your 1 inch for your seam allowance, that would be 35 inches. So for one piece you need to cut it, that is going to be 35 inches going across by 45 inches in length. Now I must say to you that be careful, because if your fabric is actually 45 inches, you need to compensate for that self edge that you have with those little holes, and I will show you what it should be when you see the little holes. You can see it on the black piece. So on this black piece here, I don't know if you can see it, but there are holes in the fabric, on every fabric pretty much, and that is always at the end of the self edge, so you want to compensate for that and look at your fabric properly. So in this case, if you are working with a 45-inch width fabric, then you want to make sure that that is being compensated for, and you may want to make sure that this is now 43 inches as opposed to 45 inches. But if you're working with 60-inch fabric, then you're good to go using this dimension. The next thing that you need to do, we have our yellow here for this piece. For the back now, for the yellow, this side that doesn't have any of the black on either side, you need one piece that is going to be the full width, which is the 44. Remember now, since you're going to turn under the edges, you have to compensate for your side here, which you're going to need seam allowance for that. So I would say add an extra inch there. So cut it like 45 going across by actually now coming down. You want this to be 45 inches. So 45 by 45 inches for this yellow. Now let's get to the green. So the green, what I'm going to do now is that I want this to be sturdy at the top, so I need 2 pieces on the green here at front and 2 pieces on the back, which is going to clean finish, and the yellow and the black is going to be under, so you're not going to be able to see it because it's a shoulder area. But if you choose not to do that, then you have to compensate for either doing a clean finish edge with the seam there, which would be on the shoulder here, but on this side you have to either do another stitch, or you can use a serger to clean finish that edge. But in my case, as I stated, I want 2 pieces of fabric here so that the seam allowance for the black and the gold is going to go underneath and it's going to be hidden. So I will need 4 pieces here, because 2 at the front and 2 at the back, 4 pieces. And because it's 5 inches in width, I'm going to do 6 inches by, and I said it's 44, so we would need going across, if this is 44, I need 45 inches here. All right, so once we have that, right, then what we need to do next, I'm going to use the same thing with the green right here for this side. Doesn't matter, because you have 2 for the front, you have 2 here for the back, so it's the same thing, doing the 4. So next I'm going to go to my red. So for the red, which is going to be at the hem, I simply need just 2 pieces. You have 2 choices. You can either do it where it's a fold line right here along the end of the hem, or you can turn that under, that give about 1 inch of hem allowance there. But in my case, I want to make it where it's a fold line right here, and so the entire width of this, because it's going to be 5 inches when it's finished, 5 times 2 is going to be 10, plus 1 inch seam allowance, because half and half on the other side, so I need it to be 11 inches by, and I'm going across here, which is 45 inches. All right, and this 45 inches is going across in this case. Let's do the black now. So for the black, all I need is just simply 2 pieces here, and we have a 5 inch width seam allowance here. At the clean finish the edge, you can clean finish it with 1/2 inch, or if you want to do 3/4 of an inch. It's up to you, but you also have to compensate for the other ½ inch seam allowance for joining the black to the yellow. So I need 2 pieces here, and I would say you can do 6.5 or 6 inches. 6 is fine, or 6.5 inches by 45 inches going down. Okay, so that's for this side. So once we have all these rectangles now, we are ready to cut these out. So once we cut these out from these various colors of the fabric, this is our green and our yellow, this is going to be our red, and this is our black that we have right here. All right, then the next thing that we need to do once we cut out all these rectangles is that we're going to sew them together. So once we have all these rectangles, we're ready to get started to make our kaftan. So what I like to do, I like to start with the side that is going to have the black at the edge. So first I'm going to clean finish the black, right, all the way down on one side. I'm going to clean finish that. Then I'm going to also join that black onto the gold that we have here. Once you have that, you have the pieces where you have the black on either side and the gold in the middle. Then for the other piece of gold, you can clean finish the sides coming down, or the length of the rectangle. And once you, well, it's actually a square based on the measurement that you have. So you clean finish 2 sides coming down of the square for the yellow. And then the next thing now, you are going to concentrate on the green part, and that is the neck and shoulder area. You are going to leave that space for the opening here, so you are going to stitch from the 17-inch for about 8 inches on either side, and then leave the rest that is going to be open. And because you are working with 4 pieces of fabric here, 2 for the front and 2 for the back, you will simply join them together here with a seam here. These 2 8-inch seam you're going to do first, then you're going to do the same thing for the other piece. So now you have 2 sets. You are going to simply iron that open, and then you're going to put those 2 pieces together with the right sides showing, and you are simply going to sew around the 17-inch area here, turn it over, and then you're going to sew the other opening on either side. So you have to do that. Once you turn it over, then you're going to iron it. So that's for the green part. The next thing you're going to do is that you're going to sew the side pieces of the green, and once you do that, then you're going to turn it over and you're going to iron that also. Then you're going to sew one edge onto the black and the gold, and the other end is going to have the black. And once you do that, you're going to press it, then turn it over, and you can top stitch there, or you can slip stitch underneath. You do the same thing for the other side that has just the yellow also. You're going to stitch it first along here, then iron it, and then you are going to make sure that that seam allowance is embedded underneath inside of the green, so you can top stitch there also, or you can simply slip stitch there. Next thing you're going to do is that you're going to sew the sides of the red, because remember it's 11 inches by 45. You turn it up, you sew these sides, that would give you 5.5 inches coming down when you are sewing that on either side of the 2 pieces. And then you're going to attach one piece of the red to the black, gold, and black side, and then you're going to do the same thing for the other piece, which is the red is going to be attached to the end of the gold. Now that you have done so, iron your seams, and you are either going to top stitch if you desire to do top stitching, or you can do slip stitching where you're not going to see any top stitching of the thread on the right side of the garment. If you want to have that casual look, then you would simply do the top stitching on the outside. Your desired side where you want to have it showing on the red, or you want to interchange the colors and showing on the gold and also on the black with the top stitching of the thread on the outside. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to take the measurement of your bust and your hip, and you're going to use tailor's chalk, and you're going to find the center mark of the kaftan, and then either side, once you take that measurement, you are going to add some extra ease. I'll say 1 to 1.5 inches. Then you're going to divide that by not just 2 but 4, because you're going to go from the center either side that measurement, because now you have it in 4, right? But if you open it and you just go straight across, it's going to be divided into 2. But I'm telling you to do it in 4 because you want to have the center of the kaftan and then go on either side for accuracy purposes. You can do a straight line coming down, and then you can stop it to wherever you want it to stop from the hem coming up, or just put it against it and see where you want it to be along the side seam at your thigh. Now with the tailor's chalk that is outside, you are going to do a row of top stitching along that, right over it, right? And then once you do that, that is your kaftan. So in conclusion, now that you know how to create this marvelous looking kaftan using the colors of the African flag, which is gold, green, and red, and also on one side you are going to add 2 strips of black on either side, you can go ahead and make one of your own. This is all about using rectangles to create an outfit, and you can wear it well, and I love it. Simple, easy. You can do it long like this, or you can opt to do it short, your choice. So it is a Black History Month, and so this is what I have to showcase for this period. This is not the only outfit that you can use rectangles to create. You can go back and watch this video on how to use rectangles to create another type of outfit. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you like what you see, leave me a comment and share this video with others around the world so they too can make a wonderful kaftan just like this. You can be creative and make it in the colors of your choice. Thank you for watching, and see you soon on the next video to come. Bye now.